Just like Arby's has the meats, so does Otis. Elite 87 Otis unboxing and review. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we continue unboxing WWE Elite 87. And today we're unboxing Otis. And Otis returned to the Elite lineup. A lot of people kind of shocked by this, but you guys know about a year ago, Otis Mania was running wild, and it's crazy how the tide has turned in his career, as now he's with Chad Gable, shaved his head, basically cut his hair real short, got rid of the beard, turned into a bad guy, more of a wrestling machine. Not totally against that, however, Otis was one of those guys that stole a lot of kids' hearts, including my daughter. She absolutely loved Otis, like a lot of kids out there as well, and I think that really is part of why she's gravitated away from wrestling a little bit. She saw what happened to Otis. Otis went away, changed. That was a character she really liked seeing and joking and laughing around with, and now he's gone. And Otis was very much like a young Hacksaw Jim Duggan is kind of what he reminded me back when I was a kid. That, you know, Hacksaw was really nobody. On the old schoolyard, the old playground, we always talk about it, especially in those Marvel Legends videos we talk about it, but wrestling works as well. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan was a guy we respected. We all respected the guy with the 2x4, but nobody on the playground, nobody said, you know, my favorite wrestler is that old Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's my favorite. He was just a middle-of-the-road guy that would be there. He'd be around and stuff. And I felt like Otis was kind of in his wheelhouse. None of the kids really say that it's their favorite wrestler of all time or anything like that. But he was one the kids gravitated to and stuff like that. You'd always get the kids, you know, giving the old thumbs up for Hacksaw. And they would love Otis and stuff like that. And my daughter was kind of in that range as well. She loved seeing Otis out there. I don't know if she'd say he was her favorite wrestler ever, but she really enjoyed seeing him every week. A lot like a Hacksaw Jim Duggan back when I was a kid. I think that's a pretty good analogy, and if you got one, hey, put it in the comments. But Otis, an interesting one. Like I said, for all those reasons, now being kind of de-pushed and changed direction, all that, seems like a million years ago this Otis figure belonged in the lineup. But here we are right now, and it is August 2021, and nothing like Otis looks right now. So it'll be interesting if this one peg warms or how this one operates out there, because this seems like it was from 10 years ago, when it was really just a year ago. So very interesting at the top here, but we're going to do this like we normally do it. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, and we'll compare it to his other Elite of the past of Otis. And that was a hot seller, remember when that came out. But there it is, there's Otis. There it is, Otis at the bottom, Elite logo. We got that certified seal of approval. We got Otis in the package. We got 2 extra sets of hands, and then just like Arby's, he's got the meats. He's got his lunch pail full of meat. That'll be interesting. That's a new accessory for sure, I guarantee you that. WWE logo at the top. He does have his crop top shirt going on, so that's an interesting one as well. So there's a lot of accessories, a lot going on with this Otis. So we'll dive in. We'll dive in. On the side there, you got his little plastic prison of him in the ring. Get the Money in the Bank, of course. And this one, it's the Money in the Bank lunchbox, but not quite the Money in the Bank briefcase. I would have liked to see the briefcase in here as well. Is what it is. And there's Otis on the side. Just kind of has that look to him. Just, I don't know what's going on there. Looks a little bit like my father-in-law. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit. There it is right there. Otis on the back. Get all the rest of Elite 87 down below. Unboxing those on the channel this week. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll want to see all those reviews. We got the blurb for Otis we're going to read here in a second. Let's see what it says. From Superior, Wisconsin. Back in my days when I used to call on Walmart, I believe Walmart had a big distribution center up there in Superior. Or at least a place where they sent stuff. It might have been freezer storage, but I could be wrong. But that's when I hear Superior, that's what I think of. And now I think of Otis. Weight 330 pounds, 5'10". Oh yeah, like a young Kool-Aid man. Otis' win at Money in the Bank stimulated his appetite. See what they did there? For victory so much, he unveiled his Money in the Bank lunchbox. So there you go. You got to get those steaks in whenever you can. I feel bad for Otis, too, because I don't think he really ever got to defend his Money in the Bank for a title shot. It was really a weird storyline where The Miz ended up stealing it away from him and all that kind of stuff. Very, very strange. But, yeah, it is what it is. So let's unbox it. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know what happened to Otis in his career. Where did he get derailed? There it is. See you later. I don't know if they didn't like his size or what, but, man, his water was cut off, as one wise man would say. That's exactly what happened. There he is in the plastic prison. Like I said, a lot going on in this package. A lot going on. Extra hands. We got 2 fists. We got 2 open hands. Then we got 2 heavy metal hands. Drew McIntyre hands, as I like to call them. And then, of course, the lunchbox of doom. Like a young Arby's, he's got the meats. Funny story about Arby's. I was on my way home from Minneapolis. We went on a little family vacation. We went to SmackDown and everything. We stopped in the middle of nowhere. There was this big gas station. Had to fill up. And you know what? They had an Arby's there. We were all hungry and went to lunch. We went up to Arby's, and guess what? They were out of French fries, and they were also out of roast beef. And I just kind of looked at them. I said, you guys are known for roast beef. How are you out of roast beef? And they just looked at me, and they said, you know what, Kyle? And they knew I had a name tag on. They said, you know what, Kyle? We don't have the meats. And I said, obviously not. So I got a drink, and I left. I didn't eat. That's what happened. Who'd have thought? What a crazy story on Arby's. There it is. All right, get these hands out. There's one. I don't know if anybody needed all these hands for Otis. I don't know. See you later. But there's Otis. There's a lot to like in this working man Otis. I like the soft, good shirt, the crop top, working man Otis on it. On his butt, he's got working man Otis too on the back of his trunks. And we got the old heavy machinery logo right down. A little knowledge to his old buddy Tucker. Forgotten guy in the whole grand scheme of things. It's sad what happened to Tucker. He got Marty Jannetty faster than most people do. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows on this one. He does have that dreaded painted on knee pad, which does look very strange. Yeah, it does look strange. We don't see that very often, but I think, yeah, we did get that in his last Elite. We'll compare that one in a second. I do like the face on this one. He does got that kind of like he smelled something putrid, like he was with Mean Gene when he was interviewing the Bushwhackers back in the day and got a whiff of those sardines. That's kind of what he looks like. But Otis looks like a guy that might partake in some sardines. Which brings me to another story. One time when I was young and I was just starting off my working career, I was starting on the Walmart team. I was dealing with ConAgra Foods is who I was working through. And you guys that know ConAgra, you know ConAgra, home of the Slim Jim and a lot of other things. And I remember we were, no, it was Hormel. And I also represented Hormel as well. And Hormel had Pickles Pig Feet. And my boss at the time was from northern Wisconsin. I don't know why I got on this story, but he went from northern Wisconsin. He came down to visit me and said, Kyle, why do we not have these displays of Pickles Pig's Feet in all your Walmarts? And you should also have pickled eggs as well. Those would be a great display piece. And I said, nobody in this state is eating pickled pig's feet out of a jar. It just doesn't happen here. He told me up in northern Wisconsin, they're on every end cap up there because up in northern Wisconsin, everybody loves their pickled pig's feet. And I'll never forget that story. And I never did sell a Pickles Pig Feet display because I couldn't look a manager in the eye and say, hey, what do you think about that? And they said, yeah, how about we get like something that actually sells? Because most of the country I don't think sells real well on the Pickles Pig's Feet. But you guys tell me if I'm wrong there. But anyways, back to crazy stuff. And that kind of goes all around because he's from Wisconsin. So I think he might dabble in the sardines. He might dabble in the pickled pig's feet. I wouldn't be shocked. Otis looks like a guy that would dabble in those. He is the working man's Otis after all. Does he fit on a Ringside Collectible stand? You know he's gonna. RingsideCollectibles.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Spend your money on your figures, not your stands. Not sure what hands I want to use. Do I want to use like the crazy Maniac hands for him? The Spider-Man hands. Do we need fists? You guys know I love fists on my wrestling figures. He does have the meats here. So this lunchbox does fold and open. So that is neat. There's some playability here. I like that a lot. I think the meat, it does come out. It looks like popsicles, kind of. But yeah, it's meats in there. I don't know if it's supposed to be beef jerky or what. I don't really recall him bringing a lunch pail full of raw meat. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed that episode somewhere along the line. But I guess it does kind of fit in his hand. Not really. So I don't know. I don't know what you do with this. I think you leave the meats in the box here. But they can be removed and this can be closed if you choose your own adventure that way. And then, of course, you can hold that. I guess that's what these gripping hands are for. He can hold his lunch pail. He's a hard-working man. You know, my grandpa used to bring a lunch pail. He was a professional welder for many years, and he would have a lunch pail every day, and he'd have some of that bologna. We're back to the food stuff. He'd have that Hormel bologna you'd buy in the peg rounds. I used to sell that stuff, too, back in the day. Young Kyle, cutting his teeth, learning the ropes. Y'all got to start at the bottom, work your way to the top. Pro tip. Pro tip. Don't try to ask for the moon right at the beginning. You got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues on the road. That's what you got to do. And he reminds me of my grandpa here, grabbing his lunch pail, getting his little thermos there, and you know, a couple pieces of bread and a couple of slices of bologna, and man, he's got himself a day on the welding, and that's kind of what the hard-working man Otis is up to. So not a bad figure. I got to think this will be our definitely this is our last go around with Elite Wise Otis and this kind of persona type thing. If we do get a new Elite Otis, you've got to think it's going to be a Chad Gable type inspired. And I'm not even sure if they'll invest into the Elites of those two. At least at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Showdown 2-pack basic first out of those. It's a possibility. We'll see where that ends up going. But here's the first round of Otis. Similar but different. I guess it's the same exact head. Same exact head. I was thinking it was different. We got the same exact hands. A lot of reuse going on here. A lot of reuse, which makes sense. Otis is a different body type mold. You're not going to make a lot of different molds there. I would have loved to see a more updated head, though, between them. But with him having these two hands on here, that's how I have it displayed. I feel like I'm going to have to mix up. I'm going to have to give him a fist or something else on this hand. Probably keep this one hand to hold the lunchbox. I think that makes a lot of sense. But it's a good version of Otis right before the fall, I guess we would say. He's rising again. I feel like him and Chad Gable are finally picking up a little bit of steam. At least I hope so. I think there's something there with Otis. He's kind of had even a little bit of Vader's moveset as of late, which I don't hate that because I love me some Vader, of course. So I think if he incorporates some of that, we know he's got personality. Hopefully he can work with Chad Gable and they can figure this thing out, and hopefully he rises like the Phoenix and gets back to where he was before. It's kind of like you bring him to the top, then you take him back down and make them work their way back up again. I think that's where Otis is right now. Unfortunately, lost my daughter along the way, and I think probably lost a few other fans as well. So we'll see what happens with Otis in the future. But I can say pretty confidently this is our last Otis Elite. Definitely in 2021 and possibly 2022. But we'll see what happens. But there it is, Otis Elite 87. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this Elite 87 Mattel unboxing and review. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment below on these figures. Don't forget to like the video. And of course, follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram. And of course, Pro Wrestling Tees. Search Kyle Peterson and support the channel. And there you go. So for all of Elite 87, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.